In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a small mini e-bike from the company DYU, and the model is the C2. I have been so impressed with this bike. I'm just going to kind of like do a quick little walkthrough from the back tire and go through the components and kind of some of the specs and all that. Then I'll do kind of like a real trail riding test and then give you my, and then come back here and give you my final thoughts. So I will leave chapters below if you want to skip to any of that now. But right now, let's go ahead and let's get into the specs of this thing, and then we'll start going through the components. So let's get into the specs now. We'll go back here and start with the motor on this thing. It's a 300 watt hub driven motor with a peak of 500 watts peak power, and it's powered by a 48 volt 7.5 amp hour battery. I've been getting easily 25 out of this battery right here when it's on a fully charged. And to charge this thing, you just lift up this little thing right here and you can charge it. But if you don't want to use that, this actually folds and you can remove the battery, and you do need the key to remove the battery. There's an on and off switch right there, so you got to remember to keep that on and off switch on when you're riding it, and then turn it off when you're not riding it. And then top speed on this thing, they're saying it's 15 miles per hour, and that's pretty true actually. I feel like it gets 15 pretty easy. And the brakes are mechanical disc brakes, and it looks to be 160 millimeter rotors. I don't see a number on them, but I'm going to say they're 160 millimeter rotors. They don't have a name on them, so I see no name on them, but I can tell y'all I've used these brakes and they work just fine. I think they stopped great. This is a not a full suspension, it's a one suspension. It has one suspension right here in the center. It doesn't have a front fork suspension, but honestly, I don't think you need it on this bike. You're not going to be doing too crazy on it anyway. It does have two folding features. It has a folding feature in the center and then one at the handlebars. And the overall weight of this thing is around about 60 pounds. They got 59. I feel it's pretty close, about 59, 60 pounds. And the total weight capacity on this thing is 265 pounds. And I'm 5'10", 5'11", and it seems like I'm maxing it out. I would say it's great from someone as low as like a kid down to 4 feet tall to someone as high as 6 foot. I say 6 foot's probably about the max on this little thing that I'd want to go. So yeah, there's the kind of the overall of the specs of this thing. Let me go ahead and start walking through the components real quick. I'll do kind of like a rapid fire on the components, and then we'll go do the ride test. Okay, so there's going to be some stuff on this bike that does not come with it, and it's my personal stuff, and I'll tell you that as I'm coming across it. So right away, this bag does not come with it. This is the Viva Course bag. This is my bag, and there's a rack back here that holds this bag extremely well. I really like how this holds this bag, and there's a 25 kg max capacity on this rack back here. These are like hard plastic fenders. It has a little rubber piece right there. These are included. The bike came almost 100% assembled. There was very little assembly to this thing at all. I'll throw up kind of like what kind of assembly I did to it because it was fast. This is one of the fastest e-bikes I've ever had to assemble. But yeah, I had to put the pedals on, and the pedals are a folding pedal. You see that? The pedals do fold, but everything with the assembly was very easy. This right here is here, so when you do fold it up, you can set it down on its frame. I'll show you folding it right now because you're going to fold it in the center, and then you're going to fold the handlebars down, and that's how you do the folding mechanism on it. And when you got it unfolded, you can use this key right here to take the battery out, take the battery in the house and charge it or something like that. And here's some of the stuff you're going to get with it. So the charger, this is the charger that you get with it. It's a 1.5 amp hour charger. And then you're going to get this nice little tool, little Allen key right there. And then mine included a bike lock, that this bike lock will actually go onto the frame right there. I don't put it in there. I'm going to put it in the bag. But the bike lock, it's nice that they give you that. You get the little owner's manual and everything. But this thing was so simple to put together, I didn't even really need the owner's manual. I threw this thing together in a matter of minutes. This is an adjustable shock right here in the middle. So you've got a shock right here in the middle, and you can adjust it by screwing it like that. That tightens it up, and I think that tightens it up right there, and that loosens it up going that way. So yeah, it is a suspension in the middle, and this works. I actually think this suspension works. Look how easily that thing works. It has a tail light on it right here, but I have my own tail light. This is not included with it, and this little tail light, I actually recommend this headlight and tail light came as a kit, but I like having a high tail light. I don't like the position of this because if you put a bag back here, you can't see the tail light. Moving on up, I love this color. They come in several colors, but this color looks nice. This is a magnesium alloy frame. It feels very sturdy. This thing does not feel cheap, everybody. This bike feels extremely sturdy for the cost. 16-inch tires in the front, so 16-inch tires front and back. Fender in the front, always like having a fender in the front. Cord management looks absolutely beautiful. They did a really good job on cord management. Headlight in the front, little small headlight. Didn't do that much. Me personally, I always recommend getting an aftermarket headlight, and that's not just this bike, that's almost every bike. Very few come with a good headlight. It's a 1-speed transmission in the back. You adjust the chain right there. I don't think you need multiple gears, so what that means is you're not going to be shifting any gears, but you know what, we don't need to shift gears on this thing anyway. So the seat was easily adjustable with that lever right there. You've got several adjustments. It goes 1 to 8, and I think that's centimeters, so 1 to 8 centimeters. I've got it maxed out, and there's a handle right here for moving around. A lot of times you can just take the seat, and I thought the seat was pretty comfortable. Honestly, I think it's, for what it is, I think that seat works great. So now moving on up here to the handlebars. So to turn this thing on, we're gonna hit this button. Make sure you're in the on position there. And when you're in the on position, there's a button right here on the side. Hold that down for 3 seconds. It's gonna go through its symbols there. Bam, right there, we are on. There's battery indicator down at the bottom. It's on 0 right now, and this has 1, 2, 3. So technically 4 speeds if you count as just riding it as a bike with 3 gears. Which is, this is different. The display is actually how you go up and down. Is that not cool? This phone holder did not come with it, but I will leave links to this. I really like this phone holder. Has the ergonomic hand grips. These hand grips seem to work just fine. They're kind of a hard plastic, but you know what? I think they're just fine. Half twist throttle on the side. This is the front, this is the back brake. Right hand is the back brake with also a motor shut off. Left hand is the front brake. You can see that, and it does hit the brake light when you mash it. See that? It flashes the brake light. Bell, it has these finger operation bell right here. And then up here, you lift this lever and you can twist your bars in and out. So if you want a little more comfortable ride down that way or up that way. And top speed that I've been seeing is 15 miles an hour. Let me show you the speed. Full speed, half twist throttle, 15 miles an hour. Boom. And to turn the headlight on, hold this down for 3 seconds, up. That turns dim. Headlight should be on. Headlight is on, and it's a decent headlight. And then tail light is on. But once again, they have a reflector back here, and my tail light's right here. I recommend getting one of those, but there's my tail light, and then you can see their tail light right there. It's pretty good. I think it's adequate for what these bikes are. There's a mode button down here on the bottom, and then a shifter. I won't go into all the modes. That's covered in the owner's manual, so get your owner's manual. Hold that mode button down, and you can change it from kilometers to miles per hour. You can do some other adjustments in there, but I've already just adjusted mine, and I'll let you guys figure that one out. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as the overall kind of walkthrough on the bike. Let me go ahead and do some ride tests now, and then I'll come back here and give you my final thoughts on this little e-bike and tell you what I think about it. So yeah, let's get to the ride test now. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to have my speedometer right here. So we're going to track the speedometer to what they say is the speed. I've got my light on. You know what? I like turning my light when I'm out here just to a quick little flashing like that. So we got our light on, and what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to start it out in normal bike mode. So let's go ahead and let's go normal bike mode. Actually, let's go a little higher with that seat if I'm gonna go in bike mode. You see how far I am up right here. That feels pretty good. Just like that feels pretty good. So now, let's go ahead. It's just as a normal bike. Now I feel the suspension, 8.2. Wow, that thing is spot on. 9. I do have the decimal point on here. See, the throttle does not work. So we can pretty much call it 9, 10 in bike mode. Let's go ahead and put it in 1. Okay. It kicked on about three rotations. I felt it kick on. I feel like I'm going 20% of what I was going a while ago. Starts ghost pedaling around 9, 10. You know what? I'm thinking the size of this sprocket, that's about as fast as you're going to go anyway. on the pedals. Let's go ahead and hit 2. Okay, in 2, it seemed like it gained me about 1 mile per hour. Yeah, not much difference between 1 and 2, actually. There's a little bit of chain noise, nothing bad. You know what, I think it just gives it a little more torque. All right, let's go 3 now. We're at all 3, no more. Now let's give it all she's got. This is a cadence sensor, so it seems to go right as soon as you go about 4 rotations. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, there's a big difference between 2 and 3. Everybody, that feels pretty good. 14, 15 miles per hour. They're spot on their speed. Going by my calculations on my speedometer and theirs, they're pretty much spot on. Now, throttle's gonna work the same 1 through 3. So let's go ahead and come to a complete stop. This is throttle only. That's impressive for this small bike. 14 miles an hour, throttle only. And one thing that you're gonna find out, this is another one of these that rides like a scooter, so you don't turn the wheels much. See the turning radius? You just wanna lean it like this. I like the position of this bell. Normally I hate bells, but I like that one. The shock seems to work. Let's go off of this, off-road a little bit. Okay, it's absorbing that. I'm sitting down still, and that feels great. This is a very comfortable ride. These ergo hand grips are nice and comfortable too. Let's try the brakes. I'm gonna hit the brakes right now. Whoa, these brakes. To be mechanical disc brakes, that works really well. Get it back up to speed. Well, so far I've been very impressed with the speed and power of this 350 watt motor. So it's got a 500 peak, as I was saying in my walkthrough there, but look at the power this thing does. And I like the half twist throttle. It kind of keeps from hand fatigue. See how I've got the half twist throttle on? To turn the headlight on, you want to hold up on that. Now the headlight's on, so that works. All that, hold down, slow down. Let's go ahead and do a little off-road action. So with these, so it's only got these 16-inch tires, so it's not gonna go super well, but look how it's handling this. Very impressive on its power through this. Slow down just a little bit. Don't want to wipe out back here. Wow, it handled that little off-road nicely. See how it pulls these? It did shake my stuff around. So the middle shock seems to work. It doesn't have a front shock on it, so it's not gonna do much on that. Okay, this is a very steep incline right here. I'm in 3rd. I feel like I'm doing maybe 40% of the power right there. Maybe less than that. I would say the motor's probably doing 80% right there. I would say that's about 20%, and that's a steep incline, everybody. Wow, that went nicely on that. What's my top speed going down this? So it starts ghost pedaling at 15. You're not gonna go any faster. Oh boy, this is fast on these little small tires. Yo! 23, what's my top speed there? Whoa. You know what's funny is that's not that fast on like my fat tire bikes, but oh boy, that was pretty quick. Hey, what up, buddy? That was actually pretty quick on these 16-inch tires. Well, there it is, everybody. That's the full-on kind of ride test on this thing. Let me go back and give you my final thoughts now. Who do I think this is good for? I think this is good for any small kid up to a teenager to like a small adult. If you start getting over 6 foot, you might want to look elsewhere with this thing because it will be too small. The distance from here to here is okay, but your height distance is not that high when you start getting over 6 foot. Maybe you could go up to 6'1", but I'm going to say the cutoff is 6 foot on that. 265 pounds. It pulls me around very well. I'm 180 and it pulls me perfectly. I actually like this bike. It's got a lot of power, a lot of speed. For the price, I think this is one of the most affordable, kind of like value e-bikes out there, the mini e-bikes anyway, because I absolutely love this thing. This is a bike that I'm definitely going to keep in my rotation. I have several fat tire e-bikes and kind of cruising style e-bikes, but I also love every now and then getting on one of these little mini bikes and just kind of like buzzing around the parks, or like I'm out here on the lake today and kind of like just having fun and not going too fast and kind of keeping me in check basically, because my other fat tire e-bike will do like 40. That gets me a little bit of trouble. It seems to do everything that they as advertised on this. DYU is a great company, and I think they did a really good job on this design and overall look of this bike, because I think it's a great value for what it is. So yeah, that's all I got today, everybody, on the DYU C2 e-bike, mini e-bike. See y'all in the next video.